Hello everyone and welcome to the final part of our series on the Trans Italia Marathon 2024, which we will conclude with an extraordinary night ride through Rome. Here we go. After the night drive through Rome, we immediately start our return journey to Verona via the motorway because it started to rain heavily during the night. We spend the night in Verona and then continue on to Munich, partly on motorways, but also on country roads. The next day, we drive the last stage completely on the motorway because it's not only cold all day, but also really wet. It's just before midnight in Rome, and we've got lost. We're on our way from the campsite where we've had a few hours sleep to the Rome Police Motorcycle Club. Not only was this the finish line of the Trans Italia Marathon 2024, where we were enthusiastically welcomed this afternoon, but it was also the starting point for tonight's night ride through Rome. But now we've got lost and are driving through narrow streets full of young Italians, looking forward to a Friday evening in the Italian capital. Here's really something going on.
You got dreams and I got dreams, so let us open up about it. Maybe we will fit right in. You got dreams and I got dreams, so let's start making plans around them. Maybe we can dive right in. Oh, don't let me down.
Finally found the 12th night ride of the Police Motorcycle Club. We'll start here from the State Police Sports Center, alongside the 400 participants in the Trans Italia Marathon. Around 2,000 bikers from Rome will join us for a 30 kilometers ride through the streets of the capital. We will pass the most famous squares and monuments of ancient and modern Rome. But for the moment, we ask ourselves, where are the others in our group? Slowly we roll to the very end of the field of Roman bikers. You have to be lucky, just as we had come to terms with the fact that we would be at the back of the field. We were suddenly passed by many familiar faces. We quickly joined up with our club colleagues. The last will be the first, after all.
This might seem typical, but for me it's new. I'm not desperate, I'm in need of you.
For German motorcyclists, it is incredibly fascinating to see the passion that Italian bikers display. While people in Germany are happy to see a few dozen motorbikes at a meeting point, here over 2,000 bikes ride through the night, escorted by the Italian police and their motorbike club, which has now been in existence for over 40 years.
Maybe we can dive right in. Oh, don't let me down. I've been curing love songs, honey. Don't fool around. You know I've been waiting, honey.
You have to admire the incredible effort that the Police Motorbike Club, and of course the entire Roman police force, put into bringing this fantastic event to the streets. Now for the 12th time, just look at the sheer mass of police officers who are all there to make sure that we can ride through every red light and as fast as we want. Do you want to hear the best? Anyone, regardless of the Trans Italia Marathon, can take part in the night ride. Register with the Italian club during the course of the year. In the past, you could register for the night run for 35 euros, and in addition to a t-shirt as a souvenir, you also received 2 tickets for the communal dinner and breakfast after the joint ride early in the morning from around 4 a.m. Unfortunately, we were unable to attend breakfast. because we decided to tackle the 500 kilometers to Verona straight after the night ride. So enjoy the exciting impressions of Rome by night with us now. Unfortunately, we can only offer you the impressions from the driver's perspective. If you want to see more great impressions, click on the link in the top right-hand corner. The organizers always planned smaller and larger stops in between where you could visit places of interest. Although the clock already showed 2 o'clock, it felt like half of Rome was still on its feet. Nobody had raised the pavements here. Slowly we felt the tiredness coming on, because the 3 hours of sleep at the campsite didn't last long. In view of the planned 500 kilometers ahead of us and the forecast thunderstorm, we decided to say goodbye to the night run and head home towards Verona via the motorway. We felt it would be safer than driving through the darkness on the country roads at night during a thunderstorm. Shortly after Rome, it unfortunately started to rain cats and dogs. That's why we can't show you any pictures, because the camera didn't like it in the darkness and the constant rain. Besides, driving on the motorway at night is not that exciting. Now it's late morning, and we're traveling on the Panoramica before Bologna in really nice weather and enjoying the view. The older one motorway is now known as the Panoramica, and is a scenic alternative to the better developed, but more boring, new motorway that runs parallel to it. The short breaks become more and more frequent, but we have spared you boring pictures of motorway car parks. Every now and then we have to get up so that tiredness doesn't overtake us. Later, we are glad when we reach our hotel in Verona and get some sleep. We start early after a relaxing night in the really excellent Hotel Firenze in the city center of Verona, which we also link to above. Another tip for fans of good drinks is the Ducci Cafe, which is just a 2-minute walk away on the same street. Try the Negroni there. Sunday. The street's empty, and apart from a beautiful Alfa GT from the 80s, there aren't many people on the road. We quickly leave the partially dilapidated outskirts of Verona with their morbid charm behind us, and want to make quick progress via the A22 Brenner motorway to Bolzano. In contrast to German motorways where you quickly get bored with the monotonous landscapes, Italy offers a beautiful panorama even here. However, the Brenner motorway in Italy is subject to tolls. You can now join a more or less long queue in front of the toll booths, or like us, opt for an electronic solution where you simply drive up to the toll booth at walking speed in a special lane with a badge in your tank bag, and then the barrier simply opens automatically. We have linked a short explanation above. We decide to leave the Brenner motorway, whose route without any major bends bores us a little from Bolzano heading north. There is also a continuous speed limit of 110 kilometers. From 2024, Brenner motorway will be completely renovated for the next 20 years, and in some places even completely rebuilt. As it is still early in the day, and we are well on schedule, we want to use the old Brenner motorway, which we enjoyed so much on the way there. In many places the country road runs parallel to the motorway, but large trucks weighing 3.5 tons or more have to use the motorway. We are accompanied by a few motorcyclists, but overall the traffic is still relatively relaxed on this Sunday. This is all the more important on the old Brenner road, because it is almost entirely single lane. Driving bans, as on the Austrian side, have not yet been imposed in Italy. Of course, as always, you have to be careful not to drive into a speed trap. We enjoy the beautiful landscape with its gentle curves and ride under or alongside the Brenner motorway. The last section of this motorway was completed 50 years ago and was part of the first continuous motorway link from Scandinavia to Italy. The section between Klausen and Bozen was one of the most complex. 17 kilometers of bridges and 9 kilometers of tunnels were needed to route the motorway through the narrow valley. The large concrete girders for the press-dressed concrete bridges are a technical masterpiece that have to withstand severe temperature fluctuations. The pillars, which are up to 50 meters high, were driven up to 25 meters below the surface in total Sion. The 314 kilometers Brenner motorway has 101 bridges and viaducts with a total length of more than 30 kilometers and 30 tunnels with a total length of 12 kilometers. The whole project cost a total of 1.4 billion euros in 1974, according to today's figures, and a gigantic amount of 130 million kilograms of steel and 26 million cubic meters of gravel. For reinforced concrete were used. Shortly before Klausen, we decide to get back on the motorway because it's already 11:30, and we still have 250 kilometers to go. Oh, what a stupid idea, even if it looks so relaxed. Here we're driving straight into a massive traffic jam on the Lubert Jewel. But that's nothing compared to the situation from 2025 because since 1st of January, the bridge will only be open to one lane of traffic until 2031. The new bridge construction will be supplemented by barrier systems on the surrounding country roads, weighbridges on the route, and new display systems. Driving bans in the greater Innsbruck area called metering traffic lights on the old Brenner Road, and much more. In view of the traffic jam, we return to the old Brenner Road at Matre am Brenner, so enjoy these last pictures of a clear country road with us. By the way, if you think you'll be able to ride your motorbike south on the old Brenner Road again, from 2031, please bear in mind that there are numerous other bridges and tunnels on the Brenner motorway that have now reached the end of their lifespan. In addition to the Lueg Bridge, the Galeras Bridge, the border tunnel to Italy, the Beiderberg toll station, the Gesnitzel Bridge, and last but not least, the Bridge of Europe will be renovated by 2032 alone. Conclusion for the next 20 years. You should look for another route to Italy. With a marvelous view of the Alps, we drive through Innsbruck, the provincial capital of Tyrol, in the North Tyrolean Inn Valley. From 2025, unfortunately, driving bans are expected in the greater Innsbruck area and south of it in the Wipptal Valley. After Innsbruck, we pass the 1,200-meter high Martinswand before Zerl, which is both a nature reserve and a popular climbing wall. In the western part of the wall is a half-cave, the Kaiser Max Grotto. Legend has it that the emperor sought refuge there after he lost his way while hunting Shama in 1484 and was rescued by a young farmer. The wall drops several hundred meters to the valley floor, overhanging slightly in places at the foot of the wall, which almost reaches the banks of the inn, is Martinskull Castle, a former fortress that is now used as a monastery and gave Martinswand its name. The last pictures of our trip show you the beautiful panorama of the Karwendel Nature Park near Reth, near Seefeld, at an altitude of about 1,130 meters, where we pass the border between Austria and Germany. We then drove the last few kilometers to Munich unspectacularly on wide main roads and the motorway, because it was already getting late. We also have to leave you with the pictures of the return journey to Dortmund, which is no great loss in view of the constant rain and very single-digit temperatures. In total, we cycled 3,883 kilometers over the 12 days, and we're very happy with our great tour at the end. If you liked our video, or even our little series, please give us a thumbs up if you want to be part of our future tours. Just subscribe to the channel. We would be very happy